What is up, Pyromaniacs? Pyrostasis here, and today we're going to be taking a look at a game called Offworld Trading Company. This is a game that's been out on Steam for quite some time. The price point on it is $39.99, and it does have, I believe, currently 6 DLC for it, although several of them are kind of quasi-optional. So I believe the two main ones are the Series Initiative and the Patron and Patriot DLC. And then I believe there's one called the Almanac DLC and Real Mars Map Pack. I think the Almanac DLC is free. The Real Mars Map Pack is basically just like Real Mars maps, and then you have the soundtrack and the map toolkit, which you'd only really need if you were wanting to make your own maps type of deal. Most of the DLC is only $5 as well. So for $50, you basically get all of the gameplay elements that are needed. Now, Offworld Trading Company is kind of a different take on real-time strategy games. Think of it like an economics version of StarCraft. It is very fast-paced, at least in the multiplayer side of things, and it does have a healthy single player as well. And unlike a lot of other games, and it may just be because I'm really bad at the game, the single player AI is pretty, what I'd like to call, dirt nasty. Now, when you get into single player, which is primarily what I'm going to take a look at, the multiplayer stuff, I don't really know how all that works. I do know there's ranked, and obviously there's a lobby. I don't know how big the multiplayer aspect of the game is on Steam because the game's been out for a long time. You can see there's not many servers open right now. So I'm assuming that there is during like special events and things along those lines, especially with the DLC just releasing, that there's probably going to be a little bit higher of a player base during those times. But the multiplayer aspect may be a little challenging to get into at the moment. Although it does look like ranked is working just fine because this is matches available. So I'm assuming maybe it's just the ranked play that's working good, and then people just making matches and stuff may not be as popular. Before we finish the video, I will take a look at multiplayer and we'll try the ranked out. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to get my ass absolutely destroyed because I make healthy use of pause in single player. Okay, so just a small caveat. I think I've got maybe 5 hours played on this at the moment. Let me check real quick. I don't know if I can actually see. I think I can. I just don't want to drive. Yeah, I don't want to screw up the recording by trying to alt tab out. I've got about 4 or 5 hours of gameplay played right now. Now, that doesn't sound like a whole lot, and I usually like to caveat all of my reviews by saying that they're not in-depth reviews. I'm not going to beat in the game and give you my complete opinion. My videos are more first impressions to kind of give you a general idea of the game. Now, it does have this option called Learn to Play, and this is broken into 2 sections. The first section basically teaches you how to play the game. It gives you basically all the basics of the 4 different groups, and then you have to, kind of use some of the stuff that you learn. Then you've got the practice games. Now, this is where you're actually playing the game. On these, I think for the first 5, you have to use the race that they give you in a specific scenario that they give you, and then you have to come out on top. Whereas in the last one, Managing Expectations, where I am currently stuck, this is the hardest difficulty in the game, the manager difficulty, where basically all of the little hand-holding, assistances that you get in the rest of the game kind of disappears, and it's just basically straight up you versus the computer. You versus 3 computers, and they don't pull any punches. Now, on this, I have gotten to where it's me and one other opponent, but I don't quite have my build order or my economics down quite enough to where I can compete just yet. I think the last game I played, he had me beat. I had $50 a share. He had $90 a share. He purchased out both of my opponents, and then I was screwed. So after that, you have skirmishes. You've got a new skirmish game. You've got the series game. I haven't looked at skirmishes at all. You have a campaign. You have the daily challenge. Now, I'm assuming that the daily challenge is going to be very similar to like one of the scenarios that you get up here in the Learn to Play option, where you're going to be given a choice of fighting against a group or something and accomplishing some special thing. We'll take a look at that here in a moment. Kind of interesting that you can actually watch the replays of these guys. That's almost seems a little dirty in the aspect that I can watch their replay. I'm assuming if I watch their replay, does that screw things up? And the other cool thing is apparently you can go back and play previous days. I don't know if it counts, and I'm kind of curious as to why some of these guys have different, what do you call them? Some of them have replays, some of them don't. That's kind of interesting. I don't quite understand that. And then you have your scenarios, which I'm assuming that we will get like from the what do you call it? The Steam HQ, like where you go in and you download different the workshops. So I'm not quite sure what scenarios is. It could also be the fact that maybe not all the stuff downloaded. And then you can go through and you can view your match history of all of your different stuff. So we're going to take a look at some different stuff. Keep in mind, I haven't checked any of this stuff out, so we're kind of going in virgin mode here. So we're going to take a look at a couple campaign missions. We're going to take a look at the ranked multiplayer, and then we're going to take a look at the daily. So let's start off by doing, let's do the mission of the campaign. All right, so here you get to pick your CEO. We've got, ooh, this is a new dude. I have only played as... What is it? Okay, so these are the same folks. Okay, that's all right. Okay, so basically, you can see right here, this is Seneca Development. This guy's Seneca Development. This one right here is New Meridians. Is he New Meridians? No, he's somebody else. I have no idea. Expansive. Okay, so she's scientific, he's scavenger, and he's robotic. And then, obviously, these guys are expansive. So these two are expansive. That's interesting that all three of these guys are expansive. Anyways, there's different races. Different races have different perks. So for instances, the scavenger dudes, the scavenger guys build based off of carbon as opposed to steel. And the general idea behind that is they're willing to cut corners at the cost of their own possible lives. It allows them to build a little bit earlier, a little bit faster in the early game. But it can kind of become a problem on certain maps and later on. I don't know if there's really a drawback for building out of carbon as opposed to steel, other than the fact that it gives you a completely separate market to play with. The problem with that, though, is as that market's more or less, separate to you, it kind of opens you up to some, tweaking from your opponents, I would assume. Most of the other groups use steel for theirs, which... then again, is you not needing much steel, if at all, you can kind of play with their markets. So I guess it would kind of come back and forth. At least you would know three of the other people in your game would need steel while you would not. The robots, I believe their benefit mainly was they're robots and they don't need a whole lot of food. They don't need a whole lot of water except for other utilities. So they're people they're fine. They can work forever. They don't need that stuff. And then I don't remember what the benefit for the massive folks was. The scientists have the ability to place their structures on top of resources. So for instance, let's say I want to make steel. Everybody else has to mine the iron and then turn it into steel. Whereas with a scientist, they just put the steel smeltery right on top of the iron and the building pulls its own stuff, which basically allows you to completely cut out that whole beginner tier of stuff and more or less escalate right to the mid or late game. But they do have some other problems on their own in the aspect of, sometimes they do need those basic resources and they've utilized them heavily with factories as opposed to other things. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the scientist because I've got a lot of practice with them because I got stuck in one of the missions for a long time. It shows all of the different perks that you guys get with these. Kind of interesting. Let's go ahead and start this up. Choose campaign length, 4 weeks, 7 weeks, or 10 weeks. That's kind of cool. And you can see all of the different challenges here. Now, these are the different difficulties, basically. So employees, kind of middle of the run. It's not too bad. You can just kind of see as it starts progressing down, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse until you get down here at the bottom where it's fucking ridiculous. And obviously you can come all the way up here to the very, very top where everything's just hunky-dory and easy. If you win here, you're almost ready to play online. Yeah, employee. I actually got my ass kicked in employee. This makes me weep for my abilities right here because If employee is, you're almost ready to play online, it's like, oh, you tried so hard. And I'm just like, dude, you're fucking evil. So we're going to go with employee because I'm hoping that I can actually beat that. And then we're going to go with a 7 weeks setup here. And apparently you can modify some settings here. Use real maps. Oh, that's kind of cool. Change speed. Yes, thank you. Daily speed. Uses a new random seed each day. Now that's interesting. Random prices. Oh, wow. Iron Man cannot restart missions. Includes series locations. That's cool. That's cool. Series, from what I understand, I think it's series. One of them allows you to build on asteroids. So I'm not sure. Either way, we're just going to go with the basics for now. All right, welcome to your first campaign game. In the campaign, you'll be competing over territories with other CEOs. You will battle for business in territories where new colonies are being founded. There are a few different rules when playing in the campaign, and this being your first time, let's try it out. We're going to highlight some of the most important ones. Sounds good. You have a few options each round where to expand your business. The choice matters, and each location has unique rules as well as bonuses to winning. As you can see, there is also a lot more going on the screen. Take a look at the options and make your choice. After you've selected the location to launch your next business, and click the Hire Staff button. Okay, so this is completely different than the versions I've been playing. I guess I've been playing kind of the meat of the game, so to speak, and this is going to be more along the lines of kind of like high level stuff. So can I move around? Okay, so we're down here at Tharsis Montes. Tharsis Montes is automated, colony growth large, volcano equator, medium resources, circuit to overload, slow down, strike. Oh dear God, underground nuke. I'm not familiar with that one. And then we're going to be fighting these two dudes. So basically, if you buy the most colony modules at the end of 7 souls, you will be rewarded with the following perk: 100% hack speed. Hacking allows you to basically play with the market. It allows you to cause surpluses and shortages, which basically allows you to make the resources of your opponents garbage, i.e., let's say they're all into steel production. You can crash the market on steel by telling everybody, basically with your hackers, that there's too much and that it's going to be cheap as shit. And then the market drops and they make no money or drastically less money. At the same time, let's say you're selling electronics, you can kind of buff that market up so everybody's like, oh shit, electronics, they're running out, everybody's buying them, we need to get them while we can. It's kind of like how it is in Texas when one snowflake falls out of the sky and everybody rushes out to buy milk. Kind of like that. All right, and then we get to choose your location for our next franchise. So we can do Tharsis Montes, which is this right here. We can do Cerebus, or we can do Grosive Crater. So we get no bonus, no bonus, no bonus if we are these people, I guess. Interesting. Okay, so wholesale shipping, large basin, south, high resources, cooks the books, mule. Okay, I'm all right with some of these. Mutiny's kind of a bitch, but I can handle this. And we're fighting 2 different people. And if you ship the most resources at the end of 7 souls, you'll be awarded with the following perk: free slowdown strike per game. What's this one? If you ship the most resources at the end of the 7 souls, you'll be awarded with the following perk: 50% patent cost. Now that actually is huge for us because I am playing the race that gets to patents pretty much easier if I'm not stupid, which I am. So that could really be an even greater benefit for us. Bribe a claim, filthy pirates. I think we're going to go with this one right here because this one I think is going to work out good for us. All right, so we've started hiring our staff. In the campaign, you must spend time and money to improve the effectiveness of production buildings. They start at half speed of buildings in the regular game, so these upgrades are critical. Certain structures even need to be unlocked. Below your name, you will see the structures and CE bonuses you start with. The number next to the structures represents the number of employees supporting those structures. Okay. You can always improve your production speed by hiring engineers. Contracts can be signed for a single week, while employees can be hired for the entire campaign. Advanced building require engineers as well, but instead of enhancing the output speed, they support more advanced structures to be constructed. Finally, there are specialists and upgrades which provide some very cool options you should consider. Oh, fuck. This is confusing. All right, so I can kind of show you some of the different buildings that are available here. Unfortunately, a lot of them are not available. Specifically this row right here, which is kind of what I would like to call the game changers. These are the ones that really... Now, it does look like I get the patent lab, so that's good. But we don't get some of the rest of these. So these right here are basically your resource structures. The solar condenser, if I recall, makes oxygen and carbon. I think. The elemental quarries basically allow you to get elements like I think silicone, I don't know which it is. That resource, and I think carbon. This one right here, metals are aluminum and iron, and then the water pump, it's water. You've got farms, you've got electrolysis. Farms basically produce food, they use water. Electrolysis makes oxygen and fuel. Then you've got your kind of your second tier production utilities, and these are where a lot of the money is made. You've got steel engineers. These guys make steel, these guys make chemicals, these guys make glass, and these dudes make basically processors and electronics and such. You've got your power options here. Now this is kind of a game changer right here. There are 3 different types of power in the game. There is solar, there is wind, and then there is geothermal. Now, if you go geothermal, you're good. You're just going to get a specific type or a specific amount of power forever unless somebody hits your building, et cetera, et cetera. It's the most expensive, but it's kind of the best and the most stable. It's also in short demand because there's only so many thermal vents on the surface, and you're going to have to fight everybody else for them. And like I said, they're expensive, so it's kind of a race to see who can get there. Then you have solar and wind. Now, solar is good during the day, garbage at night. And wind is less than solar, but it kind of requires, wind. So depending on where you place it, you may get a bonus, you may not. And, if a windstorm comes by, you may do it better. But at the same time, you're going to be doing less per unit than you will with solar. But again, solar, you're going to have the problems of nighttime. It's like 50% on, 50% off. That's a bummer. So if you don't have enough of a power surplus that you make during the day, at night you're going to be buying power and it's going to suck balls. Not only that, but if you get a solar flare, solar does better. If you get a windstorm, then wind does better. And I think like the storms can actually mess with solar as well. So I usually don't like solar, period, but we're kind of stuck with it here. Free patent lab. I don't think I've talked about patents. Patents basically allow you to patent certain things. So for instance, there's a lot of technologies in the game. One of the technologies is teleportation. A lot of these places you're going to have to go and pick up a resource from one area and bring it to your base. And unfortunately, those resources have to fly across the map, and that makes those resources kind of vulnerable as it goes across the map. Well, if you have teleportation, you don't have to do that. You just beam me up, Scotty. Everything's fine. But if you do, pirates can hit you, magnetic storms can hit you. It can really cause a problem on your deliveries. So having an early patent lab allows you to get there before everybody else does, so you can get that massive advantage that they don't get. The problem is they're expensive, so you're still going to have to spend the points on them, but it's still a pretty strong advantage. And then we have access to our Science HQ, which is just default. I will briefly cover these as well. The optimization center basically allows you to increase the amount of stuff you gather. So for instance, you can increase your power gathering. So your power plants now do 20% more power than, like 40. I don't think it's 25. Actually, it may be 25. So it's 25, 50, 75, 100, et cetera, et cetera. And you can do it, I think, 4 times or 5 times each. So it may only be 20. I don't remember if it's 20 or 25. Either way, this is really powerful. If you can get it and you can afford it, you can basically jack up your stuff. So if you corner the market on something, then you can rack that up maybe with a hacking lab, and now you're very efficient. You're, giving shortages, so you're just filling that need. That's really powerful. Hacker arrays basically allow you to play with the market. So it basically says, let's say steel is selling for 200 a piece right now. Well, let's say your opponent is heavily invested in steel and they're just making that money. Well, you don't like that. So now you say that there's a surplus of steel with your hacker array. And then for 30 seconds or so, you're going to crash that price on steel. So now they're not going to be able to make that much money off of it because steel price is going to be from 200. Now it's going to be like 98, 60, somewhere around there. And it'll take a little while for that economy to kind of recover, especially if he has to keep selling it because that's where all his money is. Pleasure domes, they're basically passive income. You place them next to the colony basically the NPC colony, not one of your opponents, but like the people you guys are actually there to support. That's what the whole game's about, is there's a colony that's landed and you guys are producing resources for that colony. So you basically put, a pleasure dome next to those colonists. They come over, they spend their hard-earned cash, at your brothels or VR places or whatever the hell goes on in a pleasure dome. It sounds dirty and filthy. That's where you're going to make your money. And then you have my personal favorite, the off-world market. Now, let's say you don't like the market with those colonists. Maybe they're a bunch of dickbags and they don't buy what you need. You buy this little spaceship and now you can shoot your goods off into space on a completely different market. And if your opponents don't have it, it's all for you. And usually the prices are completely different there. So it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. All right, so we've gone over all the buildings here. Oh, sweet. So there's all these different government subsidies. That's kind of cool. All right. So the only upgrades we basically have right here are these ones here. We have 600,000. We have 0 debt and we're making 200K a week. So since we are the scientists, we want to aim for something sciencey. So let's see. Click to consider this perk, water conservation. Carbon scrubbing. Ooh, that one's actually kind of nice. The reason this one's nice is there's certain things that require carbon and there's certain machines that require carbon and something else. I forget which one it is. I want to say it's the factory. Unfortunately, I can't see it this screen. But if you've got carbon handled, then basically if you've got this perk, you just have carbon no matter what. You don't have to go mine it. You're the carbon dude. And that takes that resource completely out of your necessities. And so at that point, you don't have to mine it. You don't have to waste your plots on that. And we'll go over that here in a minute. So you can just basically get it for free. This is a huge perk. Free metal mine, free water pump, meh. So I don't really need either of those, especially with science. Water conservation could be nice. Electronic factory engineer. Okay, so how do I get to, for 300K, I get it for a week. That's a week. Now, keep in mind, this is 7 weeks, so I'd only get it for the first shot. That's a lot of money to spend on that. I'm not sure that's really worth, my money to put into there. Greenhouse farm engineer. So there's 2 farm engineers. How many farms do we have? I have the ability to make 1 farm. Or, I'm sorry, 2 farms. So probably going to want another farm. Now, if I hire that guy, that's going to give me the ability to, I think, make another one. Oh, this is nasty because you're basically making decisions before you even get into the game. So we're going to be producing chemicals. We've got glass. We've got electronics. Ugh. So we're going to be going heavily into chemicals, which is fine. This changes the game so much, and it's kind of hard for me to show you guys all of the different reasons behind it, but I'll be able to go into it in just a few minutes. We're not going to do steel. I don't really need steel too very much other than the basics. I guess that's not true. I will need steel, won't I? Just to get started. Fuck. Electronics are definitely good, but they require too many resources, so I'm not going to really want to go into those. So, yeah, I think we're going to go with farm, and I'm going to hire him. And that knocks me down to 100K. Now, my question is, can I go into debt here? And no, it will not let me go into debt. So I have 1 new farm dude. I've got 2 power. 2 power may not be enough to get me going, though. That's the only problem. And we're only going to make 200,000 a week. I need to save my money. So I think we're just going to go with this. Let's just get in there and do it. You've decided which region to launch your business in and hire the right people to make your business a success. Things are looking good. You now have a chance to scope out the competition to make sure you're ready. You can always go back and tweak your choices if you want to. Now that's nice. The fact that you can actually see what they've got. So this is us. This is our competition here. Yeah, we really don't need most of this stuff for the most part. I wish I could get rid of this. Doesn't look like anybody else is doing food except for this guy. He's got 2. So he's going to need some food. So I'm going to be able to do some work with food, but I may have some problems with everything else. Okay. So this right here, cold fusion, allows him basically to power everything that he wants with water if it's cheaper than electricity. So basically, let's say electricity is selling at 30 a piece and water selling at 60, then obviously he's going to be using electricity. If it reverts, then he can save money technically by running on water. So that can be nice and gives me an option to kind of attack him, especially if he doesn't do much power. So unfortunately, he's going all geothermal, which means he's not going to have any power problems, period. And he's probably going to be our power producer. So this is going to kind of suck. This may end up being a really long fucking moo, and I apologize for that. First thing, now it's time for you to shine. You can see an unscanned map and burgeoning colony of Cerberus foci before you. You need to scan the map, found your company, and get some production up and running. Before you get too far ahead of yourself, there are a few things you'll need to learn if you plan on making a go of it. First thing is you only have 1 week of time to build your business and make your money. That's just 7 days to work with, okay? I've done a lot of business on Mars. You may be familiar with buying out the competition. During the first 6 weeks of the campaign, your only investment option is buying modules for the colony. These modules can grow the colony's population capacity as well as its workplace opportunities. Interesting. Ultimately, the business that invests in the most colony modules reaps the largest harvest. The biggest investors in Cerberus foci will receive the cheaper patents. Oh. Not only that, but based on the ownership percentage and colony size, each business will receive weekly dividends. Oh, that's so fucking cool. It's like a totally different game. Oh my God, I've been playing all this other stuff, and this is like a completely different game. And those of you watching are like, I don't understand. It's the only game I've seen. Well, we'll get there. Construction of new colony modules costs less than at other colonies. Wholesale orders cost less to deliver. Greater demand for fuel. Ooh. Okay, transit hub image. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so the game's paused right now. This is the map. So you can see it's kind of big. Looks like we've got some kind of water source up here. We've got possibly silicon over here. Maybe some aluminum. We're not sure. This is going to be iron, hopefully, and then water. Now, this is going to be probably our best bet to aim for. And the reason I say that is our guys need iron. We're going to want water for our farms. So let's kind of...
levels of iron found.
Okay, that's good. Okay, let's see if we can't...
Medium levels of carbon found.
Don't really give a shit about carbon.
Found. Low levels of aluminum found.
Perfect. High
levels of iron found.
I'm going to do one more scan. Okay, this is a beautiful spot for us. Beautiful spot for us. Okay, so let's kind of go over some basics here. Now, keep in mind, this is going to be a little bit different than the main game, and I may make some major fuck-ups here because I haven't played this. But I'm going to kind of go over some of the basics, and these are going to be different from a normal game versus other players or a skirmish game. First off is all the resources over here. These are the ones that I've discovered so far. In a minute, this is kind of irrelevant, but if you're scanning the entire place, you can kind of get a feel for what's good and bad over here. Like, for instance, you can see there's a lot of iron, mainly in the smaller amounts than the large amounts. Hardly any aluminum. We got a little bit of carbon and a little bit of water. So now, obviously, we've only looked at about, I'd say 10% of the map. We don't know what this stuff is here. We will as soon as we plant our stuff, but we're not going to do that yet. So we plant our little stuff by doing this. And I got a couple options here. I want to plant my stuff in such a way that I take this iron deposit, but I don't want to take this water deposit. And the problem I'm going to run into is I'm going to end up nuking one of these nice spots, and I don't want to do that. I could plant like this, which really isn't that bad, and I can connect it here in a minute, and this is probably my best bet. And the reason this is nice is I am going to need aluminum, I am going to need iron, and I'm going to need water. I don't think I'm going to be able to do much. I think I have like one claim for mining, which we're going to use on aluminum, which is nice because it's right here, but it's going to be bad at the same time because I only have these little one shots. I don't want to take this water option here because if I do, actually that might not be bad right here. This might work better. Reason I say this might work better is all of the options in the game, or all the structures, have a bonus building. So for instance, you can see right here, well here, let me just plant. Okay, pause. Okay, so because I took that big water spot, number one, that denies water to other people. So nobody can get that spot because I own it. It's inside of me. I have 3 iron spots here. I have plenty of water here, and I have aluminum there. Now, the reason that I went with this spot as opposed to over here is if I went with this water spot, yes, that gives me one nice water spot, but it doesn't give me any connectivity. Here, I can put my water and my farms in basically a circle, and this, or a triangle, so to speak. And each connective side or hexagon gives you a bonus. And we'll kind of cover that here in just a second. So now that we've planted, we can see the resources here. You also see the whole map. So you can see there's a lot of iron. Holy shit, there's a lot of iron. Dear God. So this is a nice spot over here. There's only a little bit of silicon on the planet, which is bad. Well, it's good and bad. Whoever controls these two... Wasn't there another one? Yeah. Whoever controls these 2 silicon spots is going to have a pretty decent advantage because they're basically going to be getting a bonus, so to speak. Technically, these 2 will balance out if you build both of them to one of these. So it's kind of neutral. It's kind of neutral. Now, we're also the first person to plant. Which is kind of cool. So what we want to do now is we want to kind of get started. These are all of our buildings here. Now, we have, I think it's 2 of these. So what we're going to do is we're going to start working immediately on steel. You can see our money's here, our debt's here. This is all of the current resource prices. So you start with 25 glass, 25 silicon, 25 carbon, 25 steel, 25 iron, and then 25 aluminum. That's there to basically give you your start so that you're not completely screwed upon landing. What we're going to do, we do have 1 mine, right? Yeah, we do. Okay. We're going to go ahead and take this mine because we're going to need some aluminum. So we're going to plant that. I'm going to go steel. Can we do another one? Yep. You can see the bonus here. So this one right here is producing 0.5. If I put this right here, they'll both do 0.7. Plus they're connected to my base, which means the power option, they don't take much power. Like this one is taking 0.3. As I get further and further away, see right there, it's an additional 0.3. So as long as I'm up to right about here, we don't lose any power. But once we get out to here, it starts getting more and more and more and more expensive. So like these right here, they're going to cost me a lot of power or fuel. Sorry, fuel. That's what that little fiery icon is. Because you're basically having to transport the stuff from there to here, and you have to get your little rocket ships to do that for you. So we're going to go ahead and plant this, and that gives us 1 more claim. So I've got 1 more claim to do. And since everybody's short on food, I'm really considering doing food, but I think power is probably my better option for right now because we're not going to be doing too well in the power department. So we might as well start getting an early advantage if we can. There we go. I'm going to unpause. You're going to see everything building up. One of the cool things about this game is all the really pretty
HQ has been founded.
little animations on the buildings.
An expansive HQ has been founded.
Really like that. I like the little
A scavenger HQ has
solar
been founded.
panels lining up. Kind of nice. Okay, so now our little dudes are producing. We're making some stuff. So you can see right here, we're making 1.5 steel per second. We're making 0.5 aluminum per second. And then we're making a little bit of a surplus in energy. So basically, this is how much we are selling. Apparently with power, you don't necessarily maintain your surplus. You sell it back to the colony. And then other people can buy that. So if you run out of power, you don't just, shut down like you would in a normal game. In this one, you can kind of keep going. So you can see we don't have any more water pumps. We don't have anything else we can really do. It's kind of interesting. I didn't think we had any more mining people, but apparently we do. Now, one of the other things I need to point out is the claims. You can see down here we have 0 claims. That means I can't build another building even if I want to. I just don't have that option. So I have to expand my claims. Now, there's a couple different ways you can do that. You can bribe somebody at the colony HQ, slip them a little money under the table, and they'll hook you up. In 35 seconds, we can do that if I so choose. You can upgrade your HQ, although you can only upgrade your HQ to level 5. We're currently level 1, so it's 4 more upgrades. Each upgrade gives you more new claims. To get to this one, we need 4 more steel and quite a bit more aluminum. That's not too bad. We're probably going to go that route. One of the other options is right here you can see this metal mine. You can see it's 16 of 20. Well, I can't move my cursor down there, but it's in the middle, right next to the photo. That's how much of 20 it's already got. 20 is its max. That's when it sends off a little cart. Now, sometimes for a variety of reasons, you may want to ship that early. Maybe because you're worried of piracy. Maybe because you just want to get it a little bit faster. If you press Alt and left click, you can see it zeroed out. You can see a little cart is moved. It's going to go ahead and fly that over immediately. There we go. So that's going to hook us up there. We can now go to level 2. So we're now level 2. That's giving us
has been upgraded.
a bunch more claims. We now have 4 more claims to kind of kick ourselves up a little bit. It also looks like the scientific HQ is up. Now, you can see our stock prices right here. My stock price is $5.29 per piece. So theirs is $5.27. These dudes are both losers. They're sucking balls. That's fine. We don't give a shit about those guys. So since we're starting off early, we kind of have some choices to make. Now you can look down here at all of the different material types. What's selling good right now? So food's selling for 64 a piece, but you can see it's kind of curving up. Water's curving up. Steel jacking up big time. Unfortunately, we're going to need steel, so we're probably not going to be able to do too terribly much with steel. And then you've got glass is at 93, chemicals is at 81, and then electronics is at 101. Now we can come over here to the colony. Now this is the neutral colony. This is not one of the 4 corporations. This is the group here that we are basically to support. And you can see they're using water, food, oxygen, fuel, and glass. So fuel and glass are going to be what the colony is going to be using the most. So that's going to kind of give you a positive economic pressure on those 2 resources. So those 2 resources will always be at least 1 per second or 1 per whatever in demand, which is nice. Unfortunately, it doesn't necessarily help you out too much. I mean, it's going to help out a little bit, but not too much. So food, at least from him, is probably not going to be too amazing, which is a bit of a bummer. We are going to need food. You can see right now we are losing, sorry for that little ding, that's my email. We're losing 0.3 per second or tick or whatever. We're also losing water and we're also losing oxygen. So what we could do is we can get some food stuff built once we can afford it. Right now we don't have enough steel to do so or enough glass. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to hope that steel production kind of kicks up a bit, and we're going to put 1 piece of steel right here. Now I kind of screwed up here. If I were to put this steel right here, you can see we're at a 75% bonus. Unfortunately, I put my power right here. Now, if I put this right here, I'm going to get a 50% bonus, but because I don't have a triangle, I'm losing out on that bonus. Now, what I can do is I can place this right here, and then I could sell this and move it to here. Now, the problem is if I do that, 1, I have to rebuild the building, and 2, I lose out on this claim. I can't basically get rid of that claim. Once a claim's been built, you're more or less stuck with it. So it kind of blows. Now, it just told me I've received a free patent lab. Fucking outrageous. So what's over here? Now, this is the patent lab that I was telling you about. These bonuses are 1 time per game. So, for instance, if I get teleportation, nobody else can have teleportation. It's mine. I own it. That opens everyone else up to piracy and magnetic storms because there's stuff that's being hauled across the continent or the surface or whatever you want to call it is open to attack. Because I have this option that gives me a lot of abilities. So one of the things we're going to want to do is get into chemicals so we can utilize that and utilize it soon. Now you can see right here, I have chemical refineries. I do have the ability to make them if I have steel and I have carbon, but they need power, fuel, and carbon to do. Now, I believe we expressed interest in our carbon technology, which is, where is it? Carbon scrubbing. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we have it. So I did say I was interested. I think I didn't buy it because it was expensive. Yeah. So if I get carbon scrubbing, then when we build our chemical plant, the only thing I need is fuel and power, and carbon is free. Now, alternatively, I can find carbon, which you can notice isn't anywhere but way over here. Well, there's a couple of different pieces. So if I can get carbon scrubbing, that's going to give me a massive advantage because everybody's going to need chemicals for certain things. You can see glass is skyrocketing. Now, if I wanted glass, I can make a bunch of glass kilns over here, which would give me kind of a big advantage in the glass market because that's pretty much the only pit of glass right here. And if I get this triangle right here, there's nothing anybody can really do to stop me there. I mean, like, that would give me a massive advantage, and then the only benefit they could get is a 50% bonus with these tiers here. And I could get a quad 75% bonus there if I wanted to. The question is that going to be better than food in the short term / long term? I don't know. So we're going to be hurting on water. Water's at 24, but it looks like it's going up. We're hurting on food, not too terribly, but soon it's going to get worse. So I think what we want to do is probably make a little progress into food. We don't need a lot, just a little. So I'm going to put it right here. We're a little short on money. Well, shit. I don't currently need carbon, but if I sell 10 of that, that's going to give me only 180 bucks. That's really not going to do me much good yet. Aluminum, we're using about as fast as we get it. There we go. So I just got enough stuff to make it. There we go, with the exception of the glass, which we're going to be buying. And I can put this right here. Now that's going to give me 0.75. Now that's going to make the bonus, once this comes online, we're going to be positive. It means we're going to start being able to sell food. And as you can see, it's not really a problem yet because we're kind of in the blue. We're in the red. We're not in the black. We're doing good. We have a surplus. So
the black market is online.
Well, that's good. That's good. You can see this dude's coming over to claim this little water supply. So I need to be careful with this because other people are going to try and come take my water supply here pretty quickly. I can build this, but it's going to cost me $1,000, which we don't have currently. Now I can sell some steel if I want to.
The scavenger HQ has been upgraded.
I only need 20 steel to make this other water thing. Now we're fixing to lose our power. You can see it's nighttime and we're sucking energy right now, which is a bummer, but it is what it is. So we're going to sell a little bit of steel to make up enough for this this greenhouse, and I'm going to plant it right here. Now this is one of the strengths of my race that the other races don't have. Because I have science, I'm able to make water basically from thin air, so to speak. So right here you can see this greenhouse is pulling water out of this unit here. Everybody else, like this right here, is a water pump. So if this guy wants to grow his own food, he has to make a water pump or buy it from the market and then make his farms. I just have to put my farms on a water cycle and then we're good. So now we've got 50% there.
HQ has been upgraded.
And we're doing okay. Still going to want those. Still going to want that carbon option here in a minute. Now, how much is carbon selling for right now? We can do the little bit of a math on this right here. So chemicals are selling for 86, which isn't a whole lot. Carbon is currently selling for 20. That's pretty cheap. Let's see. And then we have power and fuel. Power's not a big deal. Fuel is 0.75. So fuel is currently selling for 73. So basically, it's not going to make me much money if I make that thing until I can get rid of carbon, which is kind of a bummer. Thankfully, though, that's actually kind of cheap, which means here pretty quickly, I'm going to be able to buy carbon scrubbing. Now, as soon as I do that, I'm cutting out carbon from the market. Now, I'm still going to need the fuel, which is going to require some refineries, which I don't have. So I don't think I have access to the refineries, period. Do I? Actually, I do. I actually do. I am going to go ahead and make one right there. And that's going to use up all of our stuff for now, which means we're going to have to make the jump to our next tier before we can really do anything. I'm going to kind of go, well, I guess I'm not going to sell the carbon because it's only 21. That's not going to really do me much good. I can start selling my food, though. Now, you notice every time I sell food, the price drops a little bit. That's that market reactivity, which is really freaking cool. Now, the other nice thing, I don't think anybody else is... Yeah, I don't think anybody else is going to be able to make one of these patent labs. I think that's exclusive to me. So that gives me a pretty big bonus over everybody else. Now, this guy here, though, he's going to have a pretty big bonus in the aspect that he's going to have the resource optimizer. So in the long run, if he can spend enough money, he can double his resources and really be a pain in my ass, especially considering he's not the crappiest guy. That's Frank. So, all right, you're going to see there's a shortage right now on steel. The nice thing about that is the price is going to skyrocket. So keep an eye on that price over the next couple seconds. And it's just, look at it. It's just jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping. Now, we don't need a whole lot of steel to upgrade, but we do need a lot of aluminum. Okay, you can see it just dropped. It's still going up. The shortage is still current. But you want to sell at the height of that. Now, I'm wanting to upgrade, so I'm probably not going to sell my steel if I can help it. You can see a lot of other people are dumping their steel, though. Yeah, and now the surplus or the shortage is over. So everybody's kind of balanced out at this point, and this price is probably going to drop a little bit now. But it's still significantly higher than it was before. Now, I have all of the steel I need. Aluminum, we're still a little light on, and then obviously glass. I can buy glass here. You can buy it manually, so you don't have to worry about it. Or I can just sell a bunch of stuff here, and I can get that option. Boom. Now, what I just basically did is the computer realized I needed aluminum. It realized I needed glass. I had enough to purchase it straight up, so it went ahead and gave it to me. Well, I mean, it didn't give it to me. I bought it automatically. Otherwise, I could have checked these little markets. Now, if you're careful, you can actually buy these a little bit cheaper before the prices go up, or if there had been a crash, you could buy it. Maybe save yourself a little bit of money, especially if you can plan into the future. Me, I'm kind of shitty, so I don't do that. But if I was smart enough, I definitely could. Now, this is kind of interesting. This needs more habitat modules. I don't quite know how to do that. Wholesale orders cost less to deliver. I don't understand necessarily how to buy one of these habitat modules. The only thing I can think of is maybe they're automatic. Here's the habitat. Yeah, so I don't think I can buy any of these habitat modules because I don't have any options to build them here. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to go. It may just be one of those things where an auction comes up and we're allowed to purchase. It does look like I am leading, though, at 5. Yeah, habitat modules 5, workplace modules 6. So I believe I'm kind of leading, but I'm not entirely sure. Now you can see glass down here is doing just buku bang up dollars. I'm still going to want to get carbon scrubbing if I can, which is going to allow me to make chemicals, which is allow me to basically just take this shit over. But we want to be smart about it. Now, I can take this right here, which is going to give me another steel mill. Steel is still doing fairly well, but I'm not sure steel is going to be doing well long term. And we are kind of short on power. So I'm thinking maybe power might be a better option for us, at least initially. I can always turn the power off if I don't need it. Ooh, adrenaline boost. So he's making steel like crazy here. You can see he's got 3 steel mines going. Where is his iron deposits, though? Or is he... Oh, he's Silas. So he's just like me. So he's got 3. Unfortunately, his are in a triangle. So he's going to be making more money than or more steel than I am. I think we're going to have to follow suit and at least get one more. Unfortunately, I'm shy on some funds. So let's go ahead and sell a little bit of fuel, or a little bit of food. Let's go ahead and buy one more steel mill right there. That's going to kick us up a bit. And then as soon as we can, we're going to buy some more power. Which shouldn't take too long. Yeah, steel is still dropping like a rock. I don't like that very much at all. Okay. Might actually be able to make a jump to tier 5 or tier 4 pretty quickly.
An expansive HQ has been upgraded.
We are a bit higher up on them than they are in just the upgrades alone. I think food's probably going to stay being a pretty good component for us. I'm going to go ahead and invest one more into food, and then as soon as we can, we'll do, one more power. Keep in mind the power is not going to do us too terribly much good because it's nighttime, so half the day we have to suck it up.
Has been upgraded.
But the other half of the day, we're making money. So it hopefully averages out. I guess we'll see here in the long run. All right, so we have 75% more steel, 75% more food coming through. That's going to give me 2 different markets to play through. You can see, wow. that blows. So that's basically just fucking gone. We're going to go ahead and go for the superconductor real quick. That's going to basically give me drastically... Here, I guess I can click on it again. Superconductor. 100% power production when connected to your HQ, which all of these guys are. So, all right, we've been hit by a slowdown strike. I think he slowdown striked our... Yeah, right here. Now, you guys may be hearing all these noises and wondering what they are. That's the black market down here. Down here, you can buy an additional claim. You can purchase pirates, which basically you drop down in the flight path of one of your opponents. So for instance, like right here, this guy is no, not the geothermal plants. Right here. These guys are going to be mining and then heading back here. If I put a pirate setup here, it would take about half of the production from him and give it to me. So that's kind of nice. And it hurts your opponent. Adrenaline basically just speeds things up. Slowdown strike slows things down, so it makes this take longer. Network virus basically sets it up to where I can't touch it. Dynamite blows it up, so you have to do damage, or you have to repair it. And then Goon Squad is basically your own thugs who will basically watch your base so that somebody else can't screw you over, which is kind of nice. All right, so I was kind of hoping that this was going to come back up. We're going to go ahead and sell 100 food. I want to pay off my debt here pretty quickly. All right, we're now producing power at a surplus again. We're fixing to have an auction. I'm curious what they're going to auction. We're going to hold off. I would buy another, what do you call it?
Let the bidding begin.
A hacker array. Yeah, hacker array could be really powerful right now because it would allow us to fix the steel price. So I'm going to try and get that. Wow, he's winning big time. All right, 14K. Come on now. Now, when you make these purchases,
Sold.
you may be saying, well, dude, you don't have that much money. I don't. It goes right into your debt. So the nice thing about that is it does give you the ability to kind of tweak the system a little bit, because you can basically go into debt to try and screw your opponents over, but it's still a negative issue. So you have to kind of deal with it here in a bit. All right, let's go ahead and pay off our debt. See if we can't knock that down a little bit. We did get our patent situation sorted. So we're going to want to get carbon scrubbing here soon so that we can start doing chemicals. But then again, we may just go straight into glass because glass is kicking ass. Like big time. Of course, so is food. Holy shit, what did he do here? Oh, god dang it. Yeah, he hit us with a slowdown strike. We're getting whooped up on by that thing. That's pissing me off. Look at the fuel prices though. Holy shit. Thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and build that up. That's going to give us 4 new claims. We're going to want one of them to be the hacker array. And then I guess our last 3 claims. Jesus, look at that food just skyrocketing. I'm really tempted to keep doubling down on food. Yeah, because food's really working well for us, and they need food. Yeah, it gives players 1 share in the colony. So we're at 32 of 70. How does that work? I just click it and give them food? Oh, so this is what I need to be clicking. Okay, I'm retarded. Yeah, let's go ahead and do the food, and I'm just going to keep them in food. Yeah. Can't do that one yet. Shit, we'll sell 100 of that. That is going to let us build more food. That's where I need to be dumping all my money into. Okay, let's sell a little bit more of this because we're not having to do any of that. Man, he just blew it the fuck up. Are you kidding me? You dick. What a dick. Yeah, to fix this, I have to repair
An
it.
expansive HQ has been upgraded.
I don't really care to do that at the moment. All right, we're going to place this right here. And we're going to hack the price of steel. All right, let's go ahead and click this. We just gave quite a bit away. We're catching up now. Okay. That puts us up to 100 now. We're down by 3. And we're on day 4. That's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Waiting on that hacker array to go up. We're going to make a shortage on steel and hopefully make our cash back here. Let's do 100. There we go. Oh, thank God that wasn't me.
The hacker array is finished.
Perfect.
Time to change our passwords.
Time to change our passwords. Yeah, you do that. All right, we're going to dump this. We don't quite have enough to make a shortage here. We need $2 grand. So I'm going to have to make some more money here. I may have to sell a little bit of food to do that. There we go. Making a shortage. All right, so we got to wait till that's done. In 56 seconds, that's going to trigger the shortage on steel. So we're going to let that build up. We're going to keep doing... Oh, it cost me 5K too? Are you kidding me? All right, let's do this. There we go. I think it's a little fucked up that I have to spend money on that too. That seems a little twisted. God dang it, Frank. You dickbag. Look at that fuel price. Holy shit. The fuel price is going through the roof. All right, 23 seconds. That's going to go up. Boom. Let's pay off our debt so we don't have to worry about it. Try and get in on that while we can. And we have one more additional tile. I could put it right here. Just don't know if that's going to do us any good. Well, yeah, that's pretty much all that matters is food at this point. Fuck everything else. Look at how much water, though, we have a negative on. That's not good. That's not good at all.
Price manipulations to begin shortly.
God dang it. Look at how low that price is. There we go. Get back up to 140. We are tied for number one.
HQ has been upgraded.
I don't know why I heard that twice. Okay, we have a surplus now on steel. That's 400. That's probably going to be about, or 68, that's going to be about as good as we can get. So I'm going to sell, I guess, 300 into that. We need a little bit more. Waiting on 140. Oh, I did it too soon. I did it too soon. That's all right. That's all right. We're waiting. Boom. We're now tied for the lead. Hang on. 75. 80. Come on. We're about to have enough for the 150. Let's go ahead and pay off our debt. And then let's do 2 more tax of that. That puts us at 40K. Boom. We're now leading. It's such a different gameplay model with this setup right here than what I'm used to. Like, completely different gameplay model. Alright, so if I want to make a shortage on food, that might make my life a little bit easier. Let's do that too. Because we're making so much food here, it doesn't really matter. I don't think they're going to be able to compete. We're coming up on almost the last day. And I think we've been targeted by a slowdown. That's alright. You can slow me down all you want, bro. At the end of the day, you're still helping me out. Oh, I can go another upgrade? Oh, look at him trying to slow me down here. What a dick. What a dick. Not really going to do you much good, though, bro. Hang on. And wait for it, wait for it. It's 8K. Boom. Now we're at 12. And we're on the second to last day.
A scientific HQ has been upgraded.
Steel's going up. See, they can only keep steel downgraded for so long. And with food skyrocketing, they're going to need me. Yeah, they're going to be my best friends here in a minute.
Prepare for pending market adjustment.
Yep. Let's go ahead and get our debt paid off. Look at all that water. Fuck me. All right.
A new claim is available for auction.
Oh, yeah, I'm taking it. Hell yeah, I'm taking that shit. Is there any more water options out here somewhere? I don't think so. Not anywhere even remotely close. Hell no, I ain't letting you have that for less than 20,000. Yeah, so you can buy one for 20K. I ain't letting him have it for less than 20K. He wants to pay 20K for it, he can have it. No? Okay, that works for me too. All right, let's pause real quick. That water is way the fuck over there. Water prices are getting pretty fucking high. And I'm a little worried about that. I'm a little worried about that. Now, if I come way over here, the problem is we're going to be running into some real issues on fuel cost to set him up out there. Now, I could sell one of my farms and give me some water. I don't know if that's going to do me much good, though. I do have 6 claims left. Now, steel is bottomed the hell out. Chemicals are still relatively good. I might want to go for chemicals. Let's repair this real quick. And we're just going to kind of sit here for a minute and see what's going on. I need... There we go. Boom. That's 13. I'm 2 ahead of everybody else. I don't see anybody else being able to catch me. Look at the food shortage right now. Yeah, there's no way these guys are going to be able to afford this food. Yeah, slow it down, boys. Slow it down. I don't care. I'm going to wait till that shortage is over, and then I'm going to just rickroll the shit out of all of you bitches. Good God, 312 apiece. Yeah, there goes the fucking iron again. Look at that, 322, 23. Oh, we're tied? Damn, dude! How the fuck is he able to afford that? There you go, eat shit. Oh my God. Let's look at something else. I could make more... Yeah, I can't do more reactors because there's just no water here. There's no water anywhere. I mean, not this economical. I mean, there's some way the hell out here, but it's going to cost me more to deal with that probably than I'm going to gain. Instead, I could use these 6 on chemicals, and then I can use that to kind of make my life a little bit easier. Unfortunately, I can't invest in output optimization, so it's going to make it really rough for me to compete there. I did get the majority of these done, though. I could nuke this and take... I could nuke this and basically make another food. But the question is, which is better for me right now? Food or having that little 0.5 of fuel? I think I'm going to stick with the 0.5 of fuel. Because, yeah, I have to place that
The
on.
patent lab is constructed.
Perfect.
Let's get our science on.
Perfect. So I need to get carbon scrubbing immediately. So where's carbon scrub? God dang it. Still too expensive. There we go. Done. Once we get carbon scrubbing, then I can just mass produce chemicals, and then that's basically going to solve all my problems. Of course, I have to hurry the fuck up because Dickbag McGee is catching up to me now. Look at that water price, man. Water is through the roof as everybody's trying to keep producing it. And fuel is killing people. Shortage. Yes. Yes. Short that. Short it to hell. To hell, I say. 110. Oh, God. Keep going. Keep going. 80. Oh, people are tanking the price. Shit. Should have sold it a little sooner. Man, they are messing with my food over here, which is pissing me off. I'm going to pay off some of my debt. In fact, we're going to pay it all off. There we go. Enjoy that, fuckers. Okay, are we done with carbon? We are. Okay, it's time to make some mass chemicals now. So, doesn't really matter where we put these because we're going to be fine either way. So we're going to put that there, and then we're going to put that there. That gives us the 3. They're all connected, which means I don't have to fly them in. They're just going to magically come into my my containers. Oh, God, did he just sell 2? No, just 1. Okay. So let's dump a little bit of that. We need 190. There we go. Boom. And we got to get that a little bit further up. All right, they're not slowing me down anymore. I'm going to do an adrenaline on these. So they're going to start making more food for me. That's right, boys. Make some more food. Now, what are you missing, guys? Oh, shit. We're now missing fuel. So I'm going to turn auto supply on. Now, the way auto supply on works is as long as the resource that they are making compensates for what they're losing, i.e. if we buy water, or in this case fuel, they buy fuel at 430 a piece, They'll do it as long as we're making enough here, which technically we won't be, which is a bummer. So what I need to do is I need to find a way to reduce maybe my fuel costs. Let's see. Teleportation could really work. Ooh. This right here is going to solve our problem. Now, the way this works, slant drilling allows you to place a structure next to another structure to suck on it, more or less. So right here, I've got all these, but I can't touch them because they're covered. But if I get slant drilling, I can place these structures around here and I can suck on these as we go, which means I can have a trifecta right here because they can actually pull from these right here. That's my understanding. So we're going to go and do slant drilling, which is going to allow me to make a lot more fuel here in just a second. Holy shit. Okay, there we go. We're now tied. What's thinking machines do? No, I don't care about that. No, it's definitely not. 50% profit, nope. 50% building power consumption,
Pirates. I hate those
don't really
filthy
care about
bandits.
that. 25% cut from rivals' debt interest, that could be nice. That could be really nice for us, but we've only got one more day, and I got to get caught up. So I think our best bet is just to do the fuel thing. So hang on. Boom, boom, boom. All right. And boom. And boom. And I think I can build one more right there. Now they're going to be able to pull from the water here in 15 seconds. I just got to wait for it. Whoa. Holy shit. Pay that debt. And I can pay this off pretty good too. Yeah, it's going to give me almost enough to do it again. I've got to keep up ahead of him because we're fixing to end our next day. Okay, I got to do it now. Let's sell 100 of that. How much money do I need? 36,000? Tied him. I don't know if we've got the full day tomorrow
Open for business.
or just part of it. Okay, these guys are cooking now. Yeah, see they're pulling the water out, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. So because of that, we're going to be producing an absolutely ridiculous amount of fuel again. Yep, which means we're now producing a ridiculous amount of this again. He's one higher than me. We're not quite... We are on the last salt, so I have till midnight tonight to worry about this, which is fine with me. So I need to look at anything else I want to get here. I don't know if that's going to help me much. I mean, these cost me nothing to do because I have the stuff for it. So I think I might want to get out of steel production. And I think I should have gotten out of steel production a long time ago, actually. Yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of this. Now, unfortunately, these claims can't be redone. So I'm not sure what I can do with them to make money. That's the real issue here. I mean, I could literally rip iron out of the ground, but you can see iron and steel are both at bottomed out, basically nothing. I was going to say I could put farms here, but you can see water is at 323 a pop, which means I am technically making a profit with them if I buy the water, but only barely. Well, I guess it's 100. I mean, that's a pretty substantial profit, actually. I just don't know how well that's going to work. I guess I can try it. That's going to drive the price of water up through the roof. It may be enough to get me there. I just don't know. Yeah, and look at how much they cost to just throw in there, too. It's alright, I got another day or so. Now, I could build power here. That might be my best option. Did I get the power option? I did. Okay. Plus 100 power backup refills, plus 1 per turn. Yeah. Yeah, water's definitely not going to be cheaper. That might work, and then that might work, and then I can sell the rest of it and just hope for the best. Okay. That's probably my best option. There we go. Yeah, he's staying ahead of me. Which is fucking awful. 240, come on. Good news is, I mean, we're making pretty good power here. 830 and he's 1 ahead of me. I guess I could go for more chemicals. They're selling pretty high. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Well, yeah, that gives me a bonus. That works. Oh, you motherfucker. Look at that price on food, man. Holy shit. He's 1 ahead of me. Okay. Yeah, that may be my best option there. Yeah, let's go ahead and dump that right there. Damn. That'll work. That's gonna put me adjacent here. No, it's not. That's his. Oh well, I can still dig underneath it. Slow down, Strike. Are you fucking kidding me? He's still 1 ahead. And I have basically no time. I think he has me here. A slow down strike. God dang it. Yeah, there's no way I'm coming up with $186,000 this fast. I mean, even if I sell all of that and bottom that completely out, I think he's got me. We'll see here in a sec. I got basically an hour. Yeah, look at that. I mean, that's like giving me nothing. And I can't sell that. 2330, 2340. This is it. He's going to win by 2. Yeah, he's got me killed. Fuck! Oh, it's fucking such a beatdown. Oh, such a beatdown. I think part of the problem was I didn't realize how it worked until towards the end there. Alright, so since we lost, let's click on exit mission. I don't know if that ends my game or what. Alright, so that's day 1. So they get reduced patent costs, which sucks. We did produce quite a bit, though, which should give us, let's see, colonial weekly income, 20,000 times 28 colonists, which gives us 156,000. Okay. So that's increased our money, I think. Teleportation, I think, machines. One of our lawyers can acquire the rights to a patent for the coming week. Let's do teleportation. That seems smart. I like teleportation. Okay, so stock prices. I love how I came in second place and my stock's that low. That seems a little bit of a bitch, but either way, it seems like I'm now up to 356,000 a week. Obviously, I'd want to win that if I could. I can continue to play this, but for me personally, I probably would restart my campaign until I could get that first win. Especially since now I know how to play it. That being said, I did promise you guys I would try and do multiplayer and a daily challenge. Let's take a look at the daily challenge. I am a little curious to see. And I can switch this to friends, and I have no friends doing the daily challenge. I'm curious what the daily challenge is. Let's take a look at it. Okay. Can I pause? I don't understand what's going on. New Vlad. Oh, I have to just pick a spot. Looks like all aluminum here. Oh dear God, it's all aluminum. Some water. Is there any carbon or anything? I don't see any iron. Is there I don't even see any carbon. What the fuck? How in the shit are you supposed to do anything here? Oh God. There's carbon. Okay, so we have to do the reclamation guys. Let's spawn, I guess, right here.
A scavenger HQ has been found.
Okay, so I'm fighting, and I can't pause either. So I'm fighting Frank Dawson. Interesting. All right, well, let's do a mine. Whoops, sorry, a quarry for that. I totally should have done it over here. Totally should have done it over there. All right, let's go ahead and build one power setup. I'm going to replace that here in a bit with the other. And then we're going to need some water. Where's the closest water up? Oh, for fuck's sake. That is going to suck. All right, we're going to hold off on water. Maybe we won't have to buy it. Lols. Yeah, I said it and I don't even believe it, but that is what it is. Okay, so I need aluminum, carbon, and glass. Thankfully, I do have aluminum fairly close. I have
A scavenger HQ has been
power
upgraded.
option there. Okay, that's not too bad. I may make a jump for that next run. I've already made some mistakes here, so we're already probably going to lose this event. But we'll see how we do. We'll see how we do. It ain't over yet, boys. It ain't over yet. Not completely, anyways. All right, let's sell a little bit of our extra. I did not mean to press that button. Oops. I meant to sell one stack, not all of my carbon.
The black market is online.
I bet the black market is online. Is it going to put a big dick in me? Because that's the way it feels like. Yeah, he is crushing my ass. Unfortunately, I can't restart this event because it's a daily. I would love to restart it at this point. Ideally, what I would have done is move this over to here and probably gone straight for geothermal. There we go. We can upgrade. I am going to go for aluminum, and then we're going to go for... There we go. After that, we'll go for the geothermal. Scrap this. And I'm not sure what we're going to build instead. We'll see. We'll see. Do I want to build a second aluminum mine? I think I do. That'll give us 2 aluminum mines. And that gives me 1 title claim left. So I need to start looking at what I'm going to be able to make money on. Okay, oxygen's fixing to have a surplus, which is kind of cool. Looks like water is going to be way the hell over here. Which is kind of a bummer.
A scavenger HQ has
And
been
food
upgraded.
is kicking ass right now, too. Oh, balls. I could build food over here off of this side. That might work for me. There we go. Power looks like it's going down, so it may not be in my best interest to do that just yet. All right, let's build a pump. Let's build a pump right here. And then I'll probably do my, what do you call it? My, what are they called? Construct electrolysis reactors. Probably set electrolysis reactors up over here. We are getting absolutely murdered now. At least carbon's price isn't completely bottomed out yet. And how long till we can do another upgrade? We are short on glass, but I'm not too worried about that yet. I do kind of like these though, because they're pretty much force you into min-maxing. Really? Really? I wonder if that's an actual player, or I think it's just an NPC. It's got to be just an NPC. I'm not going to do a patent lab. Doesn't make any sense. Yet. I can't believe aluminum's price is just so low. So yeah, it's going to be all about the food. I'm going to rush food at this point.
Has been upgraded.
Yeah, we're going to make all our food right here. Food should be able to save us, hopefully. Once, of course, everything cycles back up. And I'm going to keep just a little bit of this going for now. Dear God, dude! Holy shit! Oh my God! Kicking ass, taking names. Look at that fuel price. How does he have the money to do that? What did he invest in right off the bat? Of course he went food. That's why he's kicking ass. And he built on the water. Yeah. This is going to be a very short game, my friend. Mistakes were made. Big mistakes were made. Alright. I've got to get upgraded to the next tier. We got plenty of aluminum. We're about to have plenty of carbon. Glass is really the only thing we're going to have to buy.
Let the bidding begin.
Nanotech? Builds resources. Yeah, you can have that, dude. I'm tempted to raise him up just to make him pay more. But he might let me have it, so I don't want to fight him for it.
Sold.
Because if he lets me have it, then I'm really fucked. Jesus, what a dick. This guy is a supreme dick. The dickiest dick. Well, good news is at least we're getting some water from over here. So at least we're not having to buy the jacked up water supply. The other good news is now we're positive on food, so I'm not having to pay that. I might still be able to turn this around, but it is doubtful. One sell a hundo stack of that. That might have been stupid, but... And I can't buy another claim. Use legal but no way ethical core sample technology to uncover hidden resources on a barren plot. Ooh, I like the sound of that. I want to protect this, because I'm pretty sure he's going to hit it again, and if he hits it, then I get what he hits it with. That's one of the benefits of using the goon squad. Yeah, food is really the only thing I need at this point. Power's coming down. Yeah, if I could get to the geothermal, I've basically got to get this upgraded so I can get my geothermal going. And then I can sell power at a surplus. And we are way off of that. Wow, food we just ran out. I went a little too high, in hindsight, into aluminum, which is completely worthless. So I'll be redoing this one as well.
The black market is open for business.
It's a shame. I fucked up so bad on this. Because I basically have 2 wasted claims now. 3, technically. Because if I move these claims to right here, I could make a 3x3 on food, and I'd be fine. But since you can't release claims once they've been built, I don't have that option. And it's only a matter of time till he starts overrunning me. I mean, he's already basically screwing me out of every option I've got. Why are you down? I don't understand why you're down. It's turned off? Why are you off? What the fuck? Is it because water is so expensive? I don't understand what just happened there. That makes no sense. Food is doing fine. I don't understand why you were shut the fuck off. Probably because the water... Because of the water price. But we have 200. It still doesn't make any sense to me. Now, I can't build there. I can build here. We do want to go geothermal, so let's do the geo now. I can do that. Let's get rid of you. Food.
A scavenger HQ has been upgraded.
Food. Don't have enough money for it. Okay, we're going to sell one more stack of water. There we go. Yeah, he's already level 5. I'm about to be in some shit. We're alright. We're alright. We're going to recover. I'm not going to let this fucktard beat me. At least not completely easily. He's going to have to fight me for it here in a minute. Alright, that should solve my power issues, hopefully. Once it kicks on here. There we go. Now we have 3 food coming in. Food's at 182 and climbing. He's not going to be able to completely shut me down there now. I wish I could adrenaline my guy. What can I do over here to fuck you? Well, fuel shortage coming? Oh, balls. Look at how much fuel's already costing us. I might want to invest in fuel then. So we're going to do that right there. Because fuel costs are about to get ridiculous. I have 120,000 debt already? Holy fuck! Alright boys, today Brow's going to show you how not to play the fucking game. Alright, we're getting rid of this. Even if it does nothing here. Let's see.
New land is available for auction.
High water? Yeah. I'll take it. Where? View tile? Oh. No. You can have it. Yeah, I'll let him have it for 6,000. All yours, buddy.
Congratulations.
I might have wanted to fight him for that. Because it's just the only problem is way the fuck over there. You know, I just realized I'm not the right race. I don't think I even have to build these way the fuck out here. Now that I think about it. I don't think that does me any good. Yep, he's buying out my my claims now. This right here is the buyout stuff, and I would pause it if I could show you, but I can't. Basically, this stuff right here...
Pirates. I hate those filthy bandits.
Oh, you son of a bitch. This is the stock that I own. This is the stock somebody else owns. If I get to 5, it doubles the cost. So it means he can't just buy me out. Unfortunately, he's getting really close to being able to just straight up buy me. So I have to throw all my money into this to keep him from taking me out. We need more carbon, which isn't too bad, thank God. And then glass, which is unfortunately still pretty high. I do have 3 foods going, which should hopefully... Oh, we're out of water? Why are we out of water? Oh, because of this. You dickbag. Oh, you're a son of a bitch and I hate you. Shortage in fucking everything. Oh my god. Put that there. Hopefully that'll give us some more power. Yeah, he's almost got enough to buy me out now. 76%. If I can't buy my last charge here in a second. Yep, he's got me. I'm done. Fuck! So that's the daily. As you can see, it's definitely for somebody who's a little bit better at the game than I am. I identified most of my mistakes pretty much right off the bat. There was a lot that I could have done there to kind of save myself some problems, and I kind of was my own worst enemy there. But dear God, yeah, 120,000 to fuel. That one was a tough one. The real problem with that one is I'm still learning the game. And I can't just snap, look at things, and understand what's going on. So for him, or for somebody else that's more experienced with the game, they're going to be able to look at it and be like, oh, okay, this is going on, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to invest here, et cetera, et cetera. And he'd have a little bit more of an advantage. Whereas with me, it's like it takes me 2 minutes to be like, and then I'm panicking and I'm placing claims, which I need to be very strategic on, which is what basically fucked me over. So that's what the normal game kind of looks like at a much higher level. And unfortunately, I think I'm going to pass on the multiplayer side of things because I have a feeling multiplayer is basically going to be more like that. And it does say there's a game available in ranked, but I'm ass-tastic right now. So I think doing that's going to be be a bit of a mistake. No, it's just not going to be fun. For me, honestly, I'm going to enjoy the campaign a whole lot. I really liked that aspect. It changes the base game up enough to where, the skirmishes give you something, the daily challenge gives you something, and then you've got the campaign on top of that. It's really nice. I would, if you're getting into the game, I do strongly encourage you to obviously do the learn to play stuff up here. The practice games, at least up to We Need Assistance. And honestly, if you're wanting to do multiplayer, you're going to need to be able to do these two as well. If you can't do them, you're not going to have the basic core mechanics of the game figured out. The nice thing about this, I guess, at least for me, is it seems to be a little less in your face of an RTS type game. You don't have to worry so much about micromanagement to like the level of StarCraft where you're having to split groups and attack from 2 or 3 different fronts. It's more of just focusing on the resources, who's building what, how to optimize the money, et cetera, et cetera. And unfortunately, I did put about 5 hours into this game before I got into this, and I'm still not where I need to be. You know what I mean? But as far as RTS goes, I used to love RTSs growing up. I do not like them now because of the player versus player stuff. I don't min-max, I don't micromanage as well as a lot of people, and that puts me at a major disadvantage in RTS games where it's all about min-maxing. This one's more economics, so for me, I at least feel like I can compete, and while it's still frustrating, and I don't necessarily think I want to do multiplayer, it's frustrating in a way that, at least in the single player, I can see where my oopses were, and I can kind of see how to refine those. And it's more along learning the 4 different factions, learning what their strengths are, their weaknesses are, and being able to look at the resources quickly to kind of figure out the best way to play. And for me, at least, that's a much better system than a lot of the RTSs on the market. So anyways, that's the game. Offworld Trading Company. I don't know why I just said co. You can get it on Steam. Like I said, I think it's $39.99. Of course, I've closed that window now, so I can't see. But it's a little bit higher price point than some indie games, but there's a lot of content available. The DLCs are pretty cheap, and I enjoy the hell out of it. This is a game I've been wanting to cover for a while. I'll be doing a giveaway on my stream. I think I've got 3 copies of the game to give away plus DLCs. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure you're here second week of November on my live stream when we kick things off again, when I get my computer back finally. But yeah, that's a look at Offworld Trading Co. I think it's great. Definitely worth the money. And I'm going to be spending a lot of time playing it, ripping my hair out, what little hair I have left while I'm playing it. But I would love to hear what you guys think. What do you think of the game? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to subscribe. Please slap that like button if you liked it. And I'll catch you guys in the next clip.